Welcome to Backwoods Pursuit. I'm Gabe Garish, and today we're going to look at the new Sheep Feet app and scan system that they developed to replace their system of using a mold and then building out your custom orthotic based on that. We had our whole team go through the scan and the app process and the whole order process. I was able to get some good feedback from them on the length of time it takes to get your order, as well as the finished product in the new system versus the old system here where you used a mold. I was able to use both of these out in the field and do a little comparison, see how they compared one to the next. So we'll walk you through the process of ordering and then bring you the details and the feedback from the team on the new system versus the old. Put a link to these down in the description for you so you can check them out for yourself, as well as a link to our website, backwoodspursuit.com, and our social media channels. Let's get started. All right, first let's take a quick walkthrough of the order process. Not going to spend a lot of time here, but just like anything else, you would jump onto their website, place your order for your insoles. Once that order is placed and you've checked out, you'll receive an email confirmation of the order, and within that order confirmation, you'll have a link to either download the app if you have not yet downloaded it, or to go ahead and then put your order number in with your email address in the app. So you'll go ahead and do that, and it'll take you to your order confirmation page. So list any orders that you have placed and any orders there that still need a scan. You'll see that orange little triangle there for you. It'll tell you need to, that order still requires a scan to complete. So when you see that, you'll go to the bottom of that app there and you'll see Start Scan, and then that'll begin the scanning process. Now you'll have to give the app access to your camera to complete the scan, so just hit yes there and that'll take you to the scanning page where you're going to go ahead and line up your foot. And it takes a little bit of practice. You can either have your buddy help you and line your foot up there, or you can do it yourself by laying the phone flat on the ground. Either way, generally line up your foot there and then hit scan, and it'll show you roughly an image of your foot there. Now don't be alarmed if that image is not that great. The detail and the data that is pulling from that scan is much greater than what you're seeing in that, so don't be alarmed there. I know that was a little odd when I first saw it. Now after you scan the foot, you're going to see where you can either retake the scan if you're not happy with it, or accept it if you are okay with it and go to the next foot. So then you go to the right foot now, do the same process there, and once you're happy with that scan, go ahead and hit submit, and you'll see it's uploading those scans to their app there. And once that is fully uploaded, it takes a minute or so to do so, maybe a little less, then you'll see that the scan is completed. And if you click on that order, you'll see that that is now in the processing and your order is complete there, and the orthotics themselves are being processed and built. So that's all there is to the scan as far as the app and the way that it works. Now as far as the overall time that it takes to get your orthotics, and we tracked from when the scan was done, because you could place your order and then not do your scan for 3 or 4 weeks, and that's of course going to affect the time. So from the time that you do your scan to when the orthotics show up on your doorstep is roughly about 20 days. That was the average for us. Now keep in mind that was right at the very beginning of the production of this app, so there were some glitches and they have made some changes since then, so the timing right now is actually a little bit faster than what we experienced, but that was the average for us, right about 20 days. So much quicker than the previous version of having to first place your order, wait for the foam to arrive, or the box to do the imprint arrived, do your imprint and mail it back, and then they start building. So you're certainly saving some time there by going with the scan system. Now for a couple of downsides to the app. It currently is only available to iPhone users, so if you are an Android user, you do not have the ability to download the app and do a scan. Now if that's the case, you have a couple of options. You can of course find a friend who has an iPhone and do the scan in that regard, so that way you take advantage of the faster turn time. If that's not available to you though, you can go ahead and put your order in online and order like you would have otherwise or previously, and you'll get the imprint kit again, and you can go through the same process that has always been there for sheep feet with the imprint kit and go ahead and get your order put in. And that way it'll just take a little bit longer to get to you. But you're not out of luck if you have an Android or are not an iPhone user, but it might slow you down a little bit with having to go back to the imprint version of the sheep feet Orthotics. Now, as far as differences between these two, the materials are effectively the same. The only real difference I can see visually is that on the heel side, on the underside, there's a slightly different material on the new ones, and the new ones have your name and order information engraved on the underneath side, which makes it really easy to send those in and get the rebuild if you ever need to. So there's not a lot of difference in the material. The digital aspect of making the new ones makes them more consistent. But one interesting thing that I did note is that the imprint version of the insole here, the older version versus the new, provided for a slightly different arch support between the two. I was a little bit worried about that when I took the new ones out into the field, being that I was used to the arch support that provided in the old ones, but I really didn't notice any difference personally at all in the other gentleman that had been using the old version and then switched to the new one. Did not notice any issues either. So I can still use either or and both and do so, but that was a difference. Now they did say, I did contact Sheep Feet and talk to them about that, and they said that if you do experience that, sometimes that does happen with the scan technology because it is supposed to be more accurate than the human element of doing your imprint in your foot. So if you do experience any issues, any foot pain, or want to make a change to the new scanned insole that they provide, they can certainly do that. If you send it back in, they'll make any changes that they need to. Now, some of the benefits and downsides that we noted as a team after going through the ordering process with the new app and the scan system. Benefits, obviously much quicker turnaround time. You get your orthotics a lot quicker. It's faster and easier. You're not messing with the imprint that you have to take and the human error that can come with that when you're doing your mold. So that part is a lot nicer. Like I mentioned, we had a couple of glitches with the app right at the beginning, but that was resolved very quickly. So it wasn't really an issue other than just the first couple folks that did their scans. Now for a couple of field notes or downsides to sheep feet after our team used them out in the field. One of them being that with the scan system here, and this can also apply to the imprint system, is that if you order them, you may need a break-in period. Your feet may need some hikes to get used to the support that you may not have been getting otherwise. So you can experience some foot pain. If you were to take these, put them in your boots and go for a weekend hunt, you might have a little bit of foot pain there. But if you give yourself a little bit of time to ease into that, that will subside and your feet will get used to the support that you get. Now, it can also happen. One team member did experience where he tried the break-in period and it just could not get comfortable even after the break-in period. He was experiencing foot pain that he had never experienced before. So we contacted Sheep Feet. They were great to work with, and they can make modifications to that insole for you. They can make changes as needed. You can explain to them what's going on and they can make some changes, and they're happy to work with you to make that a perfect fit for you. And that'll involve sending the feet or the orthotics here back into Sheep Feet to get that corrected and experiment until you get that just right. So on some occasions that can happen. That did happen with one of our team members, but everybody else had a great experience right out of the box and didn't have to make any adjustments to the scan version of the Sheep Feet. So that is a rundown of the Sheep Feet app and the new scan system. It's a great way to speed up the turnaround time. If you're an iPhone user, if you are not, you can still order through the website online. You'll get your imprint kit and go through the process just like they used to do. It's just a little bit slower in the turnaround time. Overall, our team loved these Sheep Feet orthotics, had a great experience with them. Did have the one person who had to send them back in and get the cast here adjusted a little bit for him so he could get the perfect fit, but they were fantastic to work with in getting that adjusted for him. Drop any questions or comments for us. We'd love to help you out if we can. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.